don't even know where to begin. The life that I live, man. I'm telling you, many ups, many downs. But through it all, I get through it, man. I get through it. I gotta light my little incense, y'all. Gotta make sure that energy right. Nah, but on a serious note, I've been on this journey for a very long time. Very long time, man. Every experience that I've been through has taught me a different lesson. And it's just like, you gonna keep going, you gonna give up, like what you gonna do? Nah, for real though, man. Let me just go ahead and just dive right on into it. I started recording professionally in 2014. That's when I actually took my product serious. I've always had the gift of music. I've always had the unction or the capability or the ability to create music, to sing. Music has always been a part of my life. But I feel like once I graduated college in 2014, it was like, okay, now it's time for you to, get things popping. You know what I mean? So that's what I did. I got things popping. I didn't stop. I didn't let that unknown space or that unknown territory allow me to be confused or not have any direction. I knew that now that I have accomplished that milestone, it was nothing else more for me to do than to create music, So that's what I did. I want to say I started my first musical body of work professionally around 2016. Yeah, 2016. Started recording with, an incredible, producer, engineer, vocal arranger, Curtis Forbes. Shout out to him. He doing his big thing at Mac and Cheese Cakes. Anyhow, we started out, I created a wonderful body of work called Sonic Gazette. It is available on all streaming platforms. Sonic Gazette was simply just a musical diary. That's what Sonic Gazette meant. It was like, I wanted to take you guys on a musical journey. I wanted you guys to come into my creative space, come into my musical journal and feel, what I was creating. I didn't want to just have like a body of work and not have emotion and not have passion and not have a story or an experience attached to it. So that's what Sonic Gazette was, And, for that to be my first project, I'm telling you, that was the foundation. Then we went on to create Ascension, another crazy body of work. So Sonic Gazette was an EP. Ascension was an LP. And for y'all, LP is just an album. But Ascension, man, from 2016 up until 2022, I went through a lot. Ups, downs, mental health, physical health, heartbreak, breakups, a spiritual journey. That's when I really took things to a new level. I knew that there was more to spirituality than just the church. There was more to ascension. There was more to elevation. That's when I started getting into meditation. That's when I started getting into chakras. That's when I started doing, tarot readings, because I've always had a prophetic gift. And I was like, okay, well, let me figure out how I can take this a little bit further. And, the rest is history. 2020, that's when COVID hit, and throughout this time, I was still working a 9-to-5. I had a band that I started, where we were doing, gigs, so to say. But I just still didn't have the fulfillment. And my band, we did a lot of things in the short period of time that we were gigging. Fall for Greenville was our second gig, a major festival in Greenville. Many bands don't get Fall for Greenville as their second gig. And then from there, we did other gigs at bars and festivals. But the thing that really stuck out is that I manifested myself into performing on the TD Amphitheater stage. I told myself, like, I will headline a show here. and Fall for Greenville opened up an opportunity for me to headline their Reedy River concert series. Long story short, then I created the Ascension Project. Around that time, I was also under a management deal, with Street Capital Management. So Street Capital, shout out to y'all, Jed, still love. I'm just giving y'all like a little splur on like what's been going on since. Cause I know y'all be like, okay, well, what has happened on his musical journey? Here it is. Listen, tune in. Nah, for real though. So I learned a lot from Jed. I learned a lot from Curtis, and those experiences I will never discredit. Those experiences I will never take for granted, because one taught me a musical side and one taught me a business side. One taught me how to budget. One taught me how to arrange. One taught me how to stack vocals. One taught me how to, take this product and market it to the world. So gratitude. I don't want this to be a 30-minute long video. Let me get to the point. Okay, fast forward. Nah, for real though. So after 2022, we had Ascension. I released that, and there was just like a pause. I went from several corporate America jobs. Shout out to Verizon, shout out to Charter, aka Spectrum, TD Bank, DSS, and in between there was some gaps, like where I was unemployed, and I was like, okay, like, what is my next step? What am I going to do? I always knew that music I will always come back to, because there's a love, there's a greater purpose with me creating music and producing a product and giving it to the world. But I never knew exactly like what was next. Like, and I didn't know that I had the power to create my own reality. I didn't know I had the power to create what was next. But anyhow, so yeah, got into the work environment, but it got to the point where I was like, okay, enough is enough. I believe it was like the end of 2023, around Halloween or Thanksgiving time. I reached out to Curtis, wanting to create another project. And this is no shade, like really, this is no shade. I reached out to him, our schedules didn't align. He had just started the mac and cheesecake brand. They were just opening their first location in Simpsonville. So I got it. They had just welcomed a new baby into their home. I understood, like, okay, like, you got to focus on that. Like, your priorities, your expectations, your responsibilities, your duties have shifted. And, it was no love lost. So I had already been working with JR. I had already been working with JR Beats since Sonic Gazette. Like, we had already been creating together. We just never had an actual session where we recorded and he engineered it. But he's always been a part of every project that I've had. So I just knew off top when it came time to bring this new sound, bring this new wave, let me hit up my bro JR. So hit him up, got in the studio. We first track, I said, JR, I want to do a universal sound, the best I got. And y'all see how that came out. Like, it the best I got. It was just me creating a statement that, yeah, I'm back, but this time I'm giving everything that I got, because I have so much faith. I have so much confidence in my gift. I have so much confidence in my sound, in my dream, in my vision. And it will happen as long as I give the best I got. So go check out that single. It's on all streaming platforms, The Best I Got. Yeah. Run it up, run it up, run it up, run it up. But then we just locked in. Like, we developed a stronger, chemistry. And it was just like, that's my bro. Like, man, we've had so many conversations about real life shit, and out of every experience, whether it's a good or bad, whether it's his life, my life, no matter what it is, we find inspiration out of it, and we create, and we stay true to who we are. Like, this is one thing I wanted to say. I should have said this shit at the beginning. When I first started creating, I would hit up JR, I would hit up Curtis, like, yo, I want to sound like Miguel, I want to track like Tank, I want to track like Fantasia. Like, I would send them reference tracks, knowing that, I really appreciated their craft and I really appreciated their sound. But what does Muncho have to bring? What does my sound, what does my story, what does it feel like? Like, so, and when we started work on this album, which is called To the Sky, man, I'm in my sound, I'm in my lane. And I'm telling you, it's such a beautiful thing when you find your lane and just drive it. You drive in that lane, man. You put the momentum to the test, like, and every time we go to a studio session, it's greater than the last. And the best I got was good. But I'm just saying, like, every session we build and we go back to the drawing board and we elevate. You know, we build upon that sound, but we still stay true to us, man. That's what a lot of y'all don't do. Y'all try to evolve, but y'all don't stay true to yourself. You try to do what's relevant, and no offense, you know, hey, if that's what's gonna help you eat. But I'd rather eat off of what's original. I'd rather eat off of what is mine, you know. So on to my next point. You know, we've been recording together since January of 2024. It is January 2026. 2 whole years, man. Like, time has really flown by. But I'm telling you, we got about 2-3 albums that we just sitting on. Like, don't think that just because y'all ain't seen me release nothing. We got about 2-3 albums that we sitting on. And not even gonna tell you, like, he about to send me this whole big folder full of new shit. Oh yeah. I'm telling you. Long story short, I got to the point where I said corporate America no longer was what I was supposed to do in this earth. Every experience has taught me to be a better person and to own my business. With Verizon, it taught me how to sell. It taught me how to market. It taught me how to negotiate. It taught me how to put myself out there and convince and persuade them into a product, which I take on to my independence. You know, I'm an independent recording artist, so I use that trait every day. When it comes down to, you know, TD Bank and Charter, it taught me how to, you know, get that person's investment. Every skill taught me something different. And even on to my most recent career, you know, at DSS, that taught me how to heal people, how to use their experience and take them to a different space. Like, okay, this is how you came into the system. Let's get you into some services to find out what the root cause is. And not only find out what the root cause is, let's figure out how to remedy this situation so that we don't have to revisit it again. Which now I'm on pressure music therapy. Like, that is what I'm on. Pressure music therapy is a project. It is a movement that I have created that will align music and therapy through sound, through frequency, through energy, through vibration. I want to heal the world, and I will heal the world. And that's it. Like we to the sky. So I'm ready. Like, so my new single releases February 2nd, 2026. It's called Runaway. And what better way to stay in this lane and push the momentum than to stay in this lane and push the momentum. Now that I'm in this lane, now that I found my sound, now that I found my true purpose, it's bigger than performing for me. It's bigger than, you know, of course, fame and fortune and success and prosperity and all that will come, but it's bigger than that for me. I want to, at the end of the day, when I get off the stage, when people hear my music, when people listen to the lyrics, when they hear the frequencies, when they hear the harmonies, when they hear the vocals, that they not only resonate with it, but they get something out of it. You know, for centuries, the world has been entertained. Now it's time for the world to elevate. Now it's time for the world to heal. Like, let's do something. Let's create something that's life-changing. Like, what are y'all doing? Like, come on, man. Nah, but February 2nd, 2026. I gave y'all the best I got, and I will never run away ever again. I'm locked in. I found my purpose. I'm back on my passion. I'd be a fool to run away. Oh, one thing, JR gonna whoop my ass, so I had to come back on here and do this. JR Beats. Make sure you book with him if you studio session. What else he do? Hold on, that's a blooper. Yeah, studio session. If you want somebody to mix and master your stuff. Now, you gotta be a certain caliber now. Don't just be bringing trash, because you're gonna get denied and rejected and returned to sender. Mac and Real. Food truck. I don't know where it's been. I ain't seen it since before Christmas. But when you see that blue truck in your neighborhood, make sure you check it out. Make sure you check it out. I don't even remember what his slogan is. Something about food so good, make it so good. I don't know. But when you see that blue truck, that Mac and Real, don't say I didn't tell you. Don't say I didn't warn you. Okay, that's enough. This is about me. This is about Runaway. It ain't about Mac and Real. But love you, bro. Appreciate it. To the sky. Never coming down. Get out the way.